Salvete omnes, mihi nomen est Magister Ioannes Piazza. Ego sum Magister Linguae Latinae. Hello everybody, this is John Piazza, Latin teacher. Just wanted to introduce here the third video in our little series, which is the basics of speaking Latin, using Latin communicatively in your daily life, whether you're in school or outside of the classroom. Today I'm going to focus a bit more on common phrases that students are likely to use throughout their day. This is based on my work with students and just overhearing students talking about various things. I'll probably have another video shortly with some more phrases, but in the meantime I just wanted to give you guys a few standard stock phrases that you're likely to use throughout your day in an academic setting, especially in high school. So, and this of course builds off of video 1 and 2. So if you haven't watched episode 1 and 2, I would advise you to look over them just to get the basics, because everything I talk about today is founded upon those basic phrases. So everything that we talk about today is usually piggybacking off, building upon some basic phrases that we saw in episodes 1 and 2. So let's take a look here. So this is when you encounter people throughout your day, either in class or in the halls or outside of school, on your way, etc. You've run into them, you have said salve, bonum diem, ut vales, bene, male, fessus, anxius, tristis, etc. Well, now we can gain some vocabulary that will help us talk about maybe why we're feeling anxious, or why we're feeling happy, or why we're nervous, well, I said anxious already, or why we're sad about our day, at least regarding academic things. So once you run into somebody, maybe, this is a common phrase, habes ne probationem hodie? Let's see. Habes ne probationem hodie? Let me turn on a light just to make sure we've got a little extra light so maybe you can see what we're talking about here. Habes ne probationem hodie? Probatio is a common word for a test. If you want to talk about a quiz, you could use the term probatiuncula. A probatiuncula is a little test. Probatiuncula, hence a quiz. So you could say habes ne probationem hodie, or habes ne probatiunculam hodie. And you could respond and say, ita vero, yes indeed, ita vero. And here are a few subjects that you might want to say that you have a test or a quiz in. Okay, scientia, mathematica, Anglica, and you could say lingua as well, lingua anglica. You could say Latina, or lingua Latina, or Latina lingua. You could say ars, or classes de arte. There are all kinds of subjects that you can talk about. And so if you have a test, you can say, ita hodie habeo probationem scientiae. So I could make all of these genitive. I could take scientia and say scientiae, or I could use the ablative in scientia, in science. You choose grammatically how you'd like to express that. Or you can just say ita scientia, and then someone else could say pro dolor, right? So these are ways of talking about a test. So once again, Habesne probationem hodie. Minime probationem non habeo. Or you could say, minime sed probatiunculam habeo in mathematicis, or something like that. So, or in lingua anglica. That's a few ways that you can talk about that. Again, some teachers may have other opinions about how to use the endings of that, and I'll leave that to you to work that out. The main thing is communicating. You need to have the words to communicate. The endings can come later as you get more comfortable with using the language. So those are our subjects, at least a few of them. So maybe you see someone in the early part of the day and you want to hang out with them more later. So what you can do is you can say, would you like to eat lunch with me today? Visne prandere mecum hodie? And that would look like this. Visne prandere mecum hodie? Would you like to eat lunch with me? Mecum meaning with me. Visne prandere mecum hodie? And you could say ita, ita, or bene, you could respond. Maybe you can't because you have to study. You can say minime necesse est mihi. Necesse est mihi is a way of saying I must or I ought. Necesse est mihi studere. I must study. Necesse est mihi studere. So that would be one thing you can do. But maybe you can have a study lunch together. Maybe you're both in the same class. So then you could take this visne and apply it to studere. And you could say visne mecum studere. So just like you said, visne mecum prandere, you can say, visne mecum studere. And then you could, say, bene. Or minime necesse est solus or sola studere. I must study alone. Maybe you're getting through your day and you want to hang out with people afterwards. And so you could say, quid agis post scholam? What are you doing? Quid agis? What are you doing? What are you doing after school? Quid agis post scholam? What are you doing after school? Again, you can come in with one of those responses before, like necesse est mihi studere, right? I must study, or something else. If you want to continue the conversation, you could say something like, let me switch my pen here, hopefully it'll be a little fresher. Quid in animo habes? What do you have in mind? Quid in animo habes? Quid in animo habes? What do you have in mind? And again, you can recycle that visne. Do you want? That's a nice thing that you can do to respond. So quid in animo habes? And then you could respond. Visne? Would you like? Visne? Let's see. Visne ire? Ad? Would you like to go to? And for one example, you could say domum meam or domum tuam. Would you like to go to my house? Or would you like to go to your house? Visne ire ad domum meam. Visne ire ad domum tuam. And you could respond by saying, bene. Eamos. Eamos means let's go. Bene, eamos. And if you want to specify, then you'll recycle the ad wherever you're going. Eamos ad. So if someone said, Visne ad domum meam ire, I would say, and I did want to go, Bene, eamos ad domum tuam. Or minime, eamos ad, wherever you want to go. It could be it could be a restaurant, it could be another place. You could say it in English if you have to. Proper names, it's always okay to bring in English, because the main thing is you're using these basic grammatical structures to communicate with each other. If you have to use a proper name or a place name or something for the sake of clarity, there's nothing wrong with that, because ultimately you want to use language and you want to be understood. And you also want to understand who you're talking to. So in summary, we've had a few commonly used phrases throughout the school day. For example, habesne probationem, do you have a test? Or habesne probatiunculam, a quiz, hodie, in various subjects, scientia, mathematica, lingua anglica, lingua latina, ars or arte, and others. Athletica. Moving on. Visne prandere me cum hodie. Visne prandere me cum hodie. Would you like to eat lunch with me today? Necesse est mihi studere. It's necessary for me to study. Visne. Visne. Would you like? Visne. Visne me cum studere. Visne me cum prandere, and then asking about what you're doing after school. Quid agis post scholam? Quid agis post scholam? What are you doing after school? Quid in animo habes? What do you have in mind? Animus can be your mind. Quid in animo habes? And then you could again ask, recycling these phrases. Visne ire ad domum meam? Or visne ire ad domum tuam. Do you want to go to my house, to your house? And then you can finish with eamos, let's go. Eamos ad, let's go to. Eamos ad domum tuam, let's go to your house. Eamos ad domum meam, let's go to my house. So hopefully you can spend some time practicing these phrases. Maybe try them out with a classmate, in or out of class. And again, these videos are I'm just making these with the hope that you can find some simple, easy ways to use Latin more in your everyday life, in or outside of the classroom. Until next time, valete omnes.